The sound of laughter drifted through the bedroom door, and Naomi's hand froze on the doorknob. She had come home early from her mother's house because she forgot her phone charger. The laughter wasn't hers. It was Brittany's. The colleague Trevor always said was just a friend. Naomi should have opened the door right then. She should have confronted them. But something made her stand there in the hallway of her own home, listening. Maybe she needed to know the truth. Maybe some part of her had suspected for months and needed confirmation. When are you going to tell her? Brittany's voice was playful, teasing. Tell her what? Trevor sounded relaxed, happy in a way he hadn't sounded with Naomi in over a year. That you're done. That you want out. There was a pause. Naomi pressed her back against the hallway wall, her heart pounding so loud she was sure they would hear it. It's not that simple, Trevor said. We've been together for 8 years. Married for 5. So what? You don't love her anymore. You told me that. I know, but what, Trevor? Do you know what you said to me last week? You said her presence irritates you. You said you wish she would just disappear forever so you wouldn't have to deal with the guilt of leaving. Naomi felt the words hit her like physical blows. Her presence irritated him. He wished she would disappear forever. Not just leave. Disappear. Like she was nothing more than an annoying problem he wanted erased from existence. I was angry when I said that, Trevor protested, but his voice was weak. Were you? Because you say something similar every time we're together. You can't stand the way she talks. You hate how she's always home. You're annoyed by her laugh. You think she's boring and predictable. Trevor, you don't want to be married to her anymore. Just admit it. Silence. The worst kind of silence. The kind that meant everything Brittany said was true. You're right, Trevor finally said. I don't want to be married to her anymore. I just don't know how to tell her. She didn't do anything wrong. She's a good person. She makes me feel trapped. Everything about her reminds me of responsibilities and obligations. When I'm with you, I feel free. Then set yourself free, Brittany said. Set both of you free. I will, Trevor promised. I just need time to figure out how. Naomi didn't wait to hear more. She backed away from the door, her movements careful and quiet. Her whole body felt numb, like she was watching herself from somewhere far away. She made it to the living room before the tears started, hot and angry and full of hurt that went deeper than she knew hurt could go. Her presence irritated him. He wished she would disappear forever. Those words played over and over in her mind as she grabbed her purse and her keys. She walked out of the house and sat in her car in the driveway for an hour, staring at nothing, feeling everything. She had given Trevor 8 years of her life. She had supported him through his career changes, through his mother's illness, through his brother's addiction problems. She had put her own dreams of finishing her computer science degree on hold because Trevor said they couldn't afford for both of them to focus on their careers at the same time. She had made herself smaller and quieter and less to make room for him to be bigger and louder and more. And he was irritated by her presence. Naomi drove to a coffee shop and sat there until closing time. She ordered drink after drink without tasting any of them. She watched couples come and go, laughing and holding hands, and wondered if any of them were lying to each other the way Trevor had been lying to her. By the time the barista told her they were closing, Naomi had made a decision. Trevor wanted her to disappear forever? Fine. She would disappear. But not the way he imagined. Not in some convenient way where he could feel sad about it and play the victim and have everyone comfort him. She would disappear in a way that would make him understand exactly what he had thrown away. She drove home at midnight. Trevor's car was gone. He was probably with Brittany, laughing about his boring, irritating wife. Naomi walked into their bedroom and started making a list. Bank accounts. Documents. Her grandmother's jewelry that she had inherited. Her clothes. Her laptop. Her art supplies that she hadn't touched in years because Trevor said painting was a waste of time. Her important papers. Her mother's recipes. She wrote it all down, calm and cold and clear-headed. She would take everything that was hers. She would leave everything that was his. She would not leave a note. She would not give him the satisfaction of an explanation. She would simply cease to exist in his life. At 3 a.m, Trevor came home. Naomi pretended to be asleep. She listened to him shower, heard him slide into bed beside her, smelled another woman's perfume on his skin. She kept her breathing even and steady while her mind raced with plans. Tomorrow she would call the bank. She would call her lawyer cousin. She would start packing. And in a week, maybe 2, she would be gone. Trevor wanted her to disappear forever? His wish was about to come true. But he was going to regret ever making it. Naomi woke up at 5 a.m, 2 hours before Trevor's alarm. She had barely slept, her mind too busy planning every detail. She looked at him sleeping peacefully beside her, his face relaxed and innocent in the dim light. He had no idea what was coming. He had no idea she knew. She got up silently and went to the kitchen. While the coffee brewed, she took out her phone and started making calls. First to her cousin Amanda, who was a lawyer in the next state over. "Naomi? It's 5 in the morning. What's wrong?" "I need your help," Naomi said, her voice steady. "I need to know how to protect myself financially before filing for divorce." There was a pause. "Trevor? Trevor. I'll send you an email in an hour with everything you need to know. Don't do anything until you read it." Next, Naomi called her bank as soon as they opened at 8. Trevor had already left for work, kissing her cheek on his way out like everything was normal. Like he hadn't wished for her to disappear the night before. "I need to remove my name from all joint accounts and transfer my contributions to a new account," Naomi told the banker. "That's a big change. Can I ask why?" "My marriage is ending. I need to protect my assets." The banker was kind and efficient. By noon, Naomi had a new account at a different bank with every dollar she had contributed to their joint savings. It wasn't much, but it was hers. Trevor's paycheck would keep going to the joint account. Her grandmother's inheritance money, which she had kept in a separate account, was now at a bank Trevor didn't know about. Over the next week, Naomi moved through her life like a ghost. She went to work at the dental office where she was a receptionist. She smiled at patients. She made appointments. She came home and cooked dinner for Trevor like always. She watched television with him like always. She said goodnight like always. But in the hours Trevor didn't see, she was systematically erasing herself from their shared life. She scanned every important document she owned and saved them to a cloud drive. Birth certificate, social security card, marriage license, her grandmother's will, her mother's handwritten recipes, everything that mattered. She took her clothes to work in garbage bags, a few items at a time, and stored them in her car trunk. She packed her jewelry, her photo albums from before Trevor, her college textbooks, her art supplies. She took them to a storage unit she rented under her maiden name. She called the utilities and found out which ones were in her name alone. She scheduled them to be disconnected the day after she planned to leave. She researched apartments in the city 3 hours away where her best friend Simone lived. She filled out applications online. She got approved for a 1-bedroom with a view of the river. She did all of this while Trevor complained about his day, while he scrolled through his phone texting Brittany right in front of her, while he criticized the dinner she made or the television show she picked. "Are you okay?" he asked her one night. "You seem distant." "I'm fine," Naomi said. "Just tired." "You're always tired lately," he said, annoyed. "You should go to the doctor or something." She almost laughed. She was tired because she was planning her escape from him, and he couldn't even see it happening right under his nose. On the 13th day after she overheard that conversation, Naomi woke up at 4 in the morning. Trevor was snoring beside her. She looked at him one last time, this man she had loved, this man who had wished she would disappear, and felt absolutely nothing. She got dressed in the bathroom. Jeans, a t-shirt, sneakers. She packed the last of her things into 2 duffel bags. Her laptop, her chargers, her toiletries, the books on her nightstand. She checked every room one final time to make sure she had everything that mattered. In the kitchen, she took her wedding ring off and placed it in the center of the table. No note. No explanation. Just the ring catching the early morning light. She walked out to her car, loaded her bags, and sat in the driver's seat for a moment. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear. From freedom. She started the engine and pulled out of the driveway. She didn't look back at the house. She had already said goodbye to it in her heart. The drive to her new city took 3 hours. Naomi drove with the windows down, letting the wind blow through her hair. She stopped at a diner halfway there and ordered pancakes and eggs and coffee. She sat at the counter and ate slowly, tasting every bite, feeling more present in her body than she had in years. When she got to her new apartment, Simone was waiting with the keys. "You really did it," Simone said, pulling her into a hug. "I really did it," Naomi confirmed. They spent the day setting up her new place with the furniture Naomi had bought online. A bed, a couch, a small table, dishes, sheets, towels. Everything new. Everything hers. That night, lying in her new bed in her new apartment in her new life, Naomi's phone started ringing. Trevor. She let it go to voicemail. He called again. And again. And again. She turned off her phone and went to sleep. Trevor wanted her to disappear? Well, she had disappeared. But not forever. Just forever from him. Trevor woke up at 7 like always, reached across the bed like always, and found it empty like it had been a few times recently when Naomi woke up early. He didn't think anything of it until he got to the kitchen and saw the ring. The wedding ring sitting alone on the kitchen table where Naomi usually left him notes about dinner plans or bills that needed paying. But there was no note today. Just the ring. "Naomi?" he called out. No answer. He checked the bathroom, the spare bedroom they used as an office, the garage. Her car was gone. Most of her things seemed to be there, though. Her makeup was still in the bathroom. Her shoes were still by the door. But something felt wrong. Trevor called her phone. It went straight to voicemail. He told himself not to panic. Maybe she went to her mother's house. Maybe she went to the store. Maybe her phone died. There had to be a reasonable explanation. He got dressed and went to work, checking his phone every 5 minutes. By lunch, Naomi still hadn't called or texted. Trevor called her mother. "Have you seen Naomi today?" "No, why? Is something wrong?" "Her wedding ring was on the table this morning and she's not answering her phone." There was a long pause. "Did you do something, Trevor?" "What? No." "Why would you ask that?" "Because my daughter doesn't just leave her wedding ring on the table for no reason." "I'll try calling her." But Naomi didn't answer her mother either. By evening, Trevor was calling everyone they knew. Naomi's friends, her coworkers, her cousin Amanda. No one had seen her. No one knew where she was. "This isn't like her," Trevor told Brittany on the phone. "Something must be wrong. What if something happened to her? Or maybe she finally figured out about us," Brittany said. "Did you think about that?" "How would she know? We've been careful." "Have we? You're on your phone constantly. You come home late 3 times a week." Trevor, she probably knew for months and finally had enough. Trevor felt sick. He went to their home office and started going through papers. That's when he noticed things missing. Naomi's birth certificate. Her passport. Her grandmother's jewelry box. Her college diploma. He opened their joint bank account online and almost dropped his phone. Half the money was gone. Not his paychecks, those were still there. But Naomi's contributions, everything she had put in from her job, was gone. He called the bank. "My wife withdrew a large amount of money without telling me. Sir, according to our records, those funds were contributed solely by her over the past 5 years. She had every right to transfer them to her personal account." "Her personal account? What personal account?" "I can't give you that information, sir." Trevor hung up and called Naomi again. Voicemail. He texted her. "Please just tell me you're okay. I'm worried. Whatever is wrong, we can fix it." No response. He called her best friend Simone. "Have you talked to Naomi?" "Why?" Simone's voice was cold. "She's missing. Her ring was on the table this morning and half our savings is gone and she won't answer her phone." "Maybe she's not missing," Simone said. "Maybe she just doesn't want to be found by you." "What does that mean?" "It means you should ask yourself why your wife would leave without a word, Trevor. Really ask yourself that." Simone hung up. Trevor sat in his empty house and tried to think. What had he done? Sure, he had been distant lately. Sure, he had been seeing Brittany. But Naomi didn't know about that. They had been careful. His phone rang. His mother. "Trevor Anthony Hudson, what did you do to that girl?" "Mom, Her mother just called me in tears. She said Naomi left you and won't tell anyone where she is." "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything." "Don't lie to me. Naomi loved you. She put up with your moods and your selfishness for years. She gave up her dreams so you could chase yours. That girl was the best thing that ever happened to you and you did something to make her run." "What was it?" Trevor couldn't answer. Was there another woman? His silence was answer enough. "You fool," his mother said, her voice breaking. "You stupid, selfish fool. Don't call me until you figure out how to fix this. And Trevor? If you can't fix it, don't call me at all." She hung up. Trevor looked around the house. Everything was still there. The furniture, the pictures on the walls, the dishes in the cabinets. But somehow, with Naomi gone, it all felt empty. Like she had taken the heart of the home with her. Brittany called. "Can I come over?" "No," Trevor said. "This isn't a good time." "Trevor, we can finally be together now. Isn't this what you wanted?" Was it? Yesterday he thought it was. He thought Naomi was the problem, the weight holding him down. He thought Brittany was the solution, the excitement he was missing. But now, with Naomi actually gone, he felt nothing but dread. "I have to go," he told Brittany. He spent the next week calling everyone he could think of, checking hospitals, filing a missing person report that the police barely took seriously after they found out about the withdrawn money and the removed jewelry. "Sir, your wife is an adult who took her own belongings and her own money. She's not missing. She left. Trevor's work started to suffer. He missed meetings. He turned in reports late. His boss called him into the office. What's going on with you? Personal problems. Fix them. You're one of our best people, but I can't keep covering for you if you're not doing your job. At night, Trevor lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. He kept remembering the last few months, looking for signs he had missed. Naomi had been quieter than usual. She had stopped asking him about his day. She had stopped trying to touch him or kiss him or make plans together. He had thought she was just tired. He had been relieved she was finally giving him space. Now he wondered if she had been pulling away on purpose. If she had been preparing to leave. If she had known all along about Brittany and chosen to say nothing until she was ready to go. And then Trevor remembered something that made his blood run cold. 2 weeks ago, he and Brittany had been in his bedroom. He had said those words. Her presence irritates me. I wish she would disappear forever. Had Naomi heard him? Had she been home when he thought she was at her mother's house? Trevor grabbed his phone and listened to his own words echoing in his memory. Naomi hadn't just left. She had disappeared. Just like he said he wanted. Naomi stood at her new kitchen window watching the sunrise paint the river gold and orange. She had been in the city for 3 months now, and every morning she woke up feeling something she hadn't felt in years, peace. Her phone sat on the counter, still turned off. She knew Trevor was probably still trying to reach her. She knew her mother was worried. But she wasn't ready yet. She needed this time to remember who she was before she let anyone back into her life. She poured herself coffee and sat at her small table with her laptop. Today was her first day at her new job. After 2 months of living off her savings and her grandmother's inheritance, Naomi had finally felt ready to rejoin the world. She had updated her resume, highlighting the computer science degree she had almost finished before putting it on hold for Trevor. She had applied to tech companies, explaining in her cover letters that she was eager to use skills she had been developing on her own. A software company called TechBridge had called her for an interview. The manager, a woman named Patricia, had listened to Naomi's story about taking time off from her career and nodded knowingly. I did the same thing, Patricia said. Gave up 5 years for someone who didn't deserve 5 minutes. Welcome back to yourself. When can you start? Now Naomi was getting ready for that start. She dressed in professional clothes that she had bought just for herself, not worrying about whether Trevor would think they were too tight or too expensive or too much. She did her makeup the way she liked it. She wore her hair natural in the big curls Trevor had always said were too wild. She looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. She looked alive again. She looked real. The office was in a bright building downtown with big windows and modern furniture. Patricia greeted her with a warm smile and introduced her to the team. Everyone was friendly and welcoming. No one asked about her personal life or why she had a gap in her resume. They just cared about whether she could do the work. And she could. The first day flew by in a blur of learning new systems and meeting new people and feeling her brain wake up after years of being underused. She helped debug a code problem that had been frustrating the team for days. She offered suggestions for improving the user interface. She felt useful and valued and seen. Great first day, Patricia said as Naomi was packing up to leave. I have a feeling you're going to do well here. That night, Naomi treated herself to dinner at a restaurant by the water. She sat alone at a table by the window eating good food and watching boats go by, and didn't feel lonely at all. She felt free. She pulled out her phone and stared at it for a long moment. Then she turned it on. Immediately, it exploded with notifications. Missed calls from Trevor, from her mother, from her aunt, from old friends. Text messages. Voicemails. Each one more desperate than the last. Naomi listened to one voicemail from Trevor. Naomi, please. Just tell me you're okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. Please come home. We can work this out. I love you. Please. She deleted it. She called her mother instead. Naomi. Well, thank God. Where are you? Are you safe? I'm safe, Mom. I'm sorry I worried you. I just needed time. Time from what? What happened? Trevor and I are done. I'm living in a new city now. I have a new job. I'm starting over. But why? What did he do? It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is I'm okay. I'm better than okay. I'm happy. Her mother was quiet for a moment. You do sound different. Lighter. I am lighter. I'll come visit you soon, I promise. But Mom, if Trevor calls you asking about me, please don't tell him where I am. Please. Did he hurt you? Yes. But not in the way you're thinking. He made me disappear, Mom. And I'm finally finding myself again. After she hung up, Naomi blocked Trevor's number. She blocked Brittany's number too, though the woman hadn't tried to call. She kept her mother's number, Simone's number, and a few close friends. Everyone else could stay in the past where they belonged. She went home to her apartment and changed into comfortable clothes. She looked at the spare bedroom she had been using for storage and made a decision. Tomorrow after work, she would turn it into an art studio. Trevor had always said art was a waste of time. Trevor had always said she wasn't talented enough to take it seriously. Trevor had always said a lot of things that made her smaller. But Trevor wasn't here anymore. Naomi pulled out her old canvases and paints from where she had hidden them in the closet. She set up an easel by the window. She squeezed paint onto a palette, colors bright and bold and alive. And then she painted. She painted until midnight, losing herself in color and form and the pure joy of creating something beautiful. She painted a woman rising from water, her head thrown back, her arms spread wide, free. When she finally stepped back to look at what she had made, tears ran down her cheeks. But they weren't sad tears. They were the tears that come when you finally come home to yourself after being lost for so long. Naomi cleaned her brushes and went to bed exhausted and content. Trevor had wanted her to disappear forever. But the woman who had disappeared was the small, quiet, careful version of herself she had become for him. The woman who was emerging now was the real Naomi. And she was just getting started. Trevor sat in his office staring at a spreadsheet that made no sense to him. The numbers blurred together. He had read the same line 5 times and still couldn't tell you what it said. Trevor, did you finish the report for the Johnson account? His boss stood in the doorway looking impatient. Not yet. I'll have it by end of day. You said that yesterday. And the day before. This isn't like you. What's going on? I told you personal problems. Well, your personal problems are becoming professional problems. I need that report in 2 hours or I'm giving the account to someone else. After his boss left, Trevor put his head in his hands. He couldn't focus. He couldn't think. Every spare moment, his mind went back to Naomi. Where was she? Was she okay? Why had she left? How could he fix this? His phone buzzed. Brittany. Can we talk? They met for lunch at the restaurant where they used to meet before Naomi left. Back then it had felt exciting and forbidden. Now it just felt tired. You don't look good, Brittany said when she saw him. Thanks. I mean it, Trevor. You've lost weight. You have circles under your eyes. You're obsessing over her. My wife disappeared. I think I'm allowed to obsess. She left you. That's not the same as disappearing. And honestly, can you blame her? Trevor looked up sharply. What? I've been thinking about this, Brittany said, playing with her salad. About us. About what we did. We had an affair, Trevor. We talked about her behind her back. We made fun of her. We wished she would just go away. And now she's gone, and instead of being happy about it, you're falling apart. I didn't think she would actually leave. What did you think would happen? That she would just accept you cheating on her forever? That she would stay small and quiet and out of your way while you did whatever you wanted? I don't know what I thought. Brittany put down her fork. I think I was wrong about us. What do you mean? I think I was the other woman in a fantasy, and Naomi was the real person in a real marriage. And now that the marriage is over, the fantasy doesn't feel so fun anymore, does it? Are you breaking up with me? Trevor, we were never really together. We were just 2 people making bad choices. And I think... She paused. I think I was mean to Naomi. Not directly, but in how I talked about her with you. In how I encouraged you to see her as a problem instead of a person. I don't like who I was when I was with you. She stood up. I hope you find her. I hope you can at least apologize. But as for us, we're done. Trevor sat alone in the restaurant, staring at food he couldn't eat. Everything was falling apart. That night, his mother called. I ran into Naomi's mother at the store today. Is Naomi okay? Does she know where she is? She's fine. She has a job. She has an apartment. She's happy. Where is she? I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you if I did. Trevor, she doesn't want to be found. You need to accept that. I can't. You have to. You made your choices. You had an affair. You complained about her to another woman. You made her feel worthless. She heard you, Trevor. She heard you say you wished she would disappear forever. Trevor felt cold. How do you know that? Her mother told me. Naomi told her mother everything. She heard you that night with Brittany. She heard every cruel word. And instead of fighting with you or begging you to stay or making a scene, she just left. With her dignity intact. Can you say the same? After his mother hung up, Trevor looked around his house. Nothing had changed physically, but everything felt different. The pictures on the walls looked accusatory. The furniture felt cold. Even the air felt heavy. He noticed things he hadn't noticed before. How Naomi used to leave little notes on the fridge with hearts drawn on them. How she used to keep fresh flowers on the table. How she used to play music while she cooked, singing along off-key. All of that was gone now. The house was silent and empty and dead. Trevor tried to work on the Johnson report but gave up after an hour. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do anything. The next day his boss called him in. "I'm sorry, Trevor, but I have to let you go. Your work has been consistently below standard for months now. We can't afford to keep someone who isn't performing." Trevor left the office with a box of his things, feeling numb. He went home to the empty house and sat on the couch. His phone rang. His brother. "Hey man, I heard about the job. That's rough." "Yeah. And I heard about Naomi too. Mom told me." "Everyone knows, huh?" "Pretty much. Trevor, I have to be honest with you. I always liked Naomi. She was good to you. She was good to all of us. When Mom was sick, Naomi was at the hospital more than you were. When I was going through my stuff, Naomi checked on me every week. She was family. And you threw her away." "I know. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you seem more upset about getting caught than about what you actually did." His brother hung up. Trevor sat in the dark house and finally let himself feel everything. The guilt, the shame, the regret, the loss. He had wished for Naomi to disappear. And now she had. But instead of feeling free like he thought he would, he felt like he had lost the only real thing he ever had. And there was no way to get it back. 6 months after leaving Trevor, Naomi sat in Patricia's office listening to words she hadn't expected to hear. "We want to promote you to senior developer." Naomi blinked. "I've only been here 6 months. And in those 6 months, you've improved our code efficiency by 30%, trained 3 new hires, and brought in 2 new clients with your presentations. You've earned this." The promotion came with a significant raise in her own office. Naomi accepted with a smile that came from somewhere deep and genuine. That evening, she met Simone for dinner at their favorite restaurant by the water. "Look at you," Simone said, raising her glass. "New job, promotion, new apartment, new life. You're glowing." "I feel different," Naomi admitted. "I feel like myself again. Like I woke up from a long sleep." "Have you heard from Trevor?" "He tried calling from different numbers a few times, but I keep blocking them. He even sent a letter to my mom's house begging her to give me his message." "What did it say?" "I don't know. I threw it away without reading it. I don't need his apologies or his excuses. I don't need anything from him at all." "Good for you." After dinner, Naomi went home and looked at her apartment with satisfaction. She had decorated it exactly the way she wanted. Bright colors on the walls. Plants everywhere. Her paintings hung up with pride. Books stacked on shelves. A cozy reading nook by the window. This was her space. Her sanctuary. No one could make her feel small here. She opened her laptop and logged into the blog she had started 2 months ago. It was called Rebuilding After Betrayal, and she wrote about her journey of leaving Trevor and finding herself again. She didn't use real names or identifying details. She just told her story honestly. The blog had grown faster than she expected. Thousands of people followed it now. Women who had left bad marriages. Men who had been betrayed. People who felt invisible in their own lives and were looking for permission to choose themselves. Naomi read through some of the recent comments. "Your words helped me leave. Thank you. I filed for divorce today after reading your blog. I'm scared but I'm free. You made me realize I deserve better. Thank you for sharing your story." Each comment filled Naomi with purpose. Her pain had meaning now. Her story was helping other people write their own stories of survival and strength. She wrote a new post about reclaiming her hobbies. About painting again. About finishing her degree online. About learning to laugh at her own jokes instead of waiting for someone else to validate her humor. After posting it, she went to her art studio and worked on a new painting. This one was of a woman standing on a cliff with her arms spread wide, facing the sun. Strong. Unafraid. Free. Naomi had been taking art classes at the community center on weekends. The instructor, an older woman named Grace, had been encouraging her to show her work at the local gallery. "You have real talent," Grace kept saying. "Stop hiding it." So last week, Naomi had submitted 3 paintings to the gallery's open call for local artists. Today she had gotten an email. They wanted to feature her work in their next show. Naomi looked at the email and felt tears of joy prick her eyes. This was real. This was happening. She was building a life she loved with her own 2 hands. Her phone buzzed. Her mother. Hi, baby. How are you? I'm good, Mom. Really good. I'm so glad. You sound happy. You sound like the Naomi I used to know before Trevor. I feel like her again. Trevor came by the house yesterday. Naomi tensed. What did he want? To ask me to give you a letter. I told him no. I told him you've moved on and he needs to do the same. Thank you. He doesn't look good, Naomi. He's lost his job. He looks thin and tired. Part of me felt sorry for him. I don't, Naomi said firmly. I don't feel sorry for him at all. He made his choices. Now he has to live with them. You're right. I just wanted you to know. In case he tries to reach you another way. After hanging up, Naomi blocked the thought of Trevor from her mind. He didn't deserve space in her head anymore. He didn't get to take up her energy or her time or her peace. She finished her painting and stepped back to admire it. The woman on the cliff looked strong and sure. She looked like she knew exactly who she was and where she was going. She looked like Naomi. That weekend, Naomi attended the gallery opening for the local artist show. Her 3 paintings hung on the wall with little red dots next to them, indicating they had sold. People approached her all night, complimenting her work, asking about her technique, wanting to know where they could see more. You're incredibly talented, a man said. He was maybe her age with kind eyes and an easy smile. I bought the one of the woman rising from the water. It spoke to me. Thank you, Naomi said, meaning it. That one is special to me. I'm Ian, by the way. I teach at the art school across town. They talked for an hour about art and technique and inspiration. Ian was easy to talk to, but Naomi kept the conversation light and friendly. She wasn't ready for anything more. She might never be ready. And that was okay. When she got home that night, Naomi looked at her reflection in the mirror. She looked happy. She looked confident. She looked whole. Trevor had wished she would disappear forever. But the woman he wished away had never really existed. She had been a shadow of herself, dimmed by his criticism and diminished by his neglect. The woman looking back at her now was the real Naomi. Bright and strong and rising. Naomi was leaving work on a Wednesday afternoon when she saw him. Trevor, standing by her car in the parking garage, looking older and thinner than she remembered. Her first instinct was to turn around and go back inside. Her second instinct was to call security. But something made her walk forward instead. Maybe she needed this. Maybe she needed to face him once and for all. Hello, Trevor. He looked up and his face crumpled with relief. Naomi. Thank God. I've been trying to reach you for months. I know. I blocked you. Can we talk? Please? Naomi looked at him for a long moment. He looked defeated. Broken. A small part of her felt something like pity, but it didn't run deep enough to change anything. One conversation, she said. Not here. There's a coffee shop 2 blocks away. I'll meet you there in 10 minutes. The coffee shop was bright and public and safe. Naomi sat across from Trevor at a small table by the window, keeping her purse on her lap, keeping her keys in her hand, keeping herself ready to leave at any moment. How did you find me? She asked. Your LinkedIn. You changed jobs. I saw the company name and I know I shouldn't have come. But I needed to see you. Why? To apologize. To explain. To ask you to give me another chance. Naomi laughed and it sounded hard even to her own ears. A chance to do what, Trevor? Wish I would disappear again? He flinched. You heard that. I heard everything. I came home early that night to get my phone charger. I stood in the hallway of our home and listened to you tell another woman that my presence irritated you. That you wished I would disappear forever. That I was boring and predictable and made you feel trapped. Trevor's face went pale. Naomi, You what? You didn't mean it? You were just venting? You were angry? She leaned forward. Here's the thing, Trevor. You did mean it. Maybe not in the exact words you used, but you meant the feeling behind them. I had been making myself smaller for years trying to make you happy, and you still couldn't stand the sight of me. That's not true. It is true. And the sad thing is, I would have kept making myself smaller. I would have kept trying to be whatever version of me you could tolerate. I would have stayed and shrunk and disappeared piece by piece until there was nothing left. But you did me a favor that night. What favor? You showed me the truth. You showed me that I was living with someone who didn't value me, who didn't see me, who wished I didn't exist. And that truth set me free. Trevor's eyes filled with tears. I love you, Naomi. I know I messed up, but I love you. I lost everything. My job, my family won't talk to me, my friends think I'm a fool. You're the only thing that matters and I lost you too. No, Naomi said quietly. You didn't lose me. You threw me away. There's a difference. Please, tell me how to fix this. Tell me what to do. Naomi looked at this man she had loved for 8 years. She had cooked his favorite meals. She had supported his dreams. She had put her own life on hold for his. She had tried so hard to be enough for him. And he had wished she would disappear. There's nothing to fix, she said. We're done. We've been done since the moment you said those words. I just took a little while to make it official. What about the divorce? My lawyer will send you the papers next week. Don't fight it, Trevor. We both know this marriage has been over for a long time. Did you ever love me? The question surprised her. Yes, I loved you with everything I had. I loved you when you were struggling to find your career path. I loved you when your mother was sick. I loved you when you were stressed and angry and took it out on me. I loved you even when you stopped loving me back. I never stopped. Yes, you did. Maybe not all at once. Maybe it was gradual. But somewhere along the way you stopped seeing me as a person and started seeing me as an obligation. As something in your way. As something you wanted to disappear. I'm so sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't change anything. Sorry doesn't erase what you did or what you said. Sorry doesn't give me back the years I spent trying to be smaller so you could feel bigger. Naomi stood up. I have to go. Wait, can I at least know if you're happy? She looked at him, really looked at him, and felt nothing but distance. This man was a stranger now. Someone from a past life she had left behind. Yes, she said simply. I'm happy. I have a job I love. I have an apartment that feels like home. I have friends who actually like me. I'm painting again. I'm finishing my degree. I'm building a life that's mine. I'm the happiest I've been in years. I'm glad, Trevor said, and he actually sounded like he meant it. You deserve to be happy. I do, Naomi agreed. And that's something I had to learn on my own without you. She walked out of the coffee shop and didn't look back. Her hands were steady. Her breathing was calm. Her heart was clear. That night she called her lawyer cousin Amanda. Time to file the papers. You're ready? I've been ready. I just wanted to be sure he understood that we're finished. That there's no coming back from this. And now he knows. Did he fight you on it? No. I think he finally understands that he can't undo what he did. That some wishes can't be taken back. After she hung up, Naomi opened her laptop and wrote a blog post about confronting the person who hurt you. About how closure doesn't always come from them. Sometimes it comes from within yourself, when you finally understand that you don't need their apology to move forward. The comments came flooding in within an hour. People thanking her for her honesty. People sharing their own stories of confrontation and closure. People finding strength in her words. Naomi smiled and closed her laptop. Trevor had wished she would disappear forever. And in a way she had. The woman who needed his approval was gone. The woman who existed now didn't need anything from him at all. 3 months after the coffee shop confrontation, Naomi sat in her lawyer's office reviewing the divorce settlement one final time. Amanda sat beside her, a pen ready in hand. This is more than fair, Amanda said. You're getting half the house value, half the retirement accounts, and all the assets you came into the marriage with. Plus, since he committed adultery, the judge agreed you don't have to split the debts he accumulated after the affair began. And he signed it? Without a single change. He didn't even try to negotiate. Naomi felt a wave of relief. Part of her had expected Trevor to fight, to make this difficult, to drag it out as long as possible. But he hadn't. Maybe he finally understood that he had lost any right to make demands. There's one more thing, Amanda said, sliding an envelope across the desk. Brittany's lawyer contacted me. She wants you to know she's willing to testify about the affair if Trevor tries to contest anything. Naomi looked at the envelope without touching it. Why would she do that? Apparently she and Trevor had a messy breakup. She feels guilty about her part in what happened. She said, and I quote, I helped destroy a good woman's marriage and I want to make it right. She can't make it right, Naomi said flatly. What's done is done. But tell her lawyer I appreciate the offer. I don't think we'll need it. Amanda nodded. You're handling this with incredible grace, you know that? I don't feel graceful. I just feel done. The divorce was finalized 2 weeks later. Naomi didn't attend the court hearing. She signed the papers remotely and let Amanda handle everything. She didn't need to see Trevor one more time. She didn't need that closure. The day the divorce became official, Naomi felt lighter. She treated herself to a nice dinner, then went home and changed her last name back to her maiden name on all her accounts. Naomi Williams was gone forever. Naomi Foster was back. That weekend, Simone threw her a divorce party. "I know that sounds weird," Simone said, "but I'm celebrating you choosing yourself. That deserves a party." They invited Naomi's closest friends, the ones who had supported her through the separation. They ate good food, drank wine, and laughed until their stomachs hurt. "Speech," someone called out. Naomi stood up, glass in hand, feeling emotional but strong. "A year ago, I was married to someone who wished I would disappear. Today, I'm divorced and happier than I've been in years. That might sound impossible, but it's true. This year taught me that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing. It taught me that I'm stronger than I thought. That I don't need someone else to complete me. That I can build a beautiful life entirely on my own." She raised her glass. "Here's to disappearing from the lives that don't deserve us, and showing up fully in the lives we create for ourselves." Everyone cheered. Later that night, after everyone had gone home, Naomi sat on her couch scrolling through her phone. She had been doing this more often lately, just looking at her life from the outside and marveling at how different everything looked. Her blog had grown to over 50,000 followers. Women sent her messages every day thanking her for giving them courage to leave bad relationships. Some sent updates about their new lives, their new jobs, their new happiness. Her art was selling at local galleries. She had 3 commissions lined up and had been asked to teach a beginner painting class at the community center. Her job was going well. She had a team now, people who respected her ideas and valued her input. She had friends who made her laugh. A mother who was proud of her. A life that felt full and meaningful. And she had done it all without Trevor. Her phone buzzed with an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she answered. "Hello? Naomi? It's Brittany." Naomi almost hung up. But curiosity held her on the line. "What do you want?" "I wanted to apologize. I know it doesn't matter now, but I need to say it. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for having an affair with your husband. I'm sorry for the things I said about you. I was wrong and you didn't deserve any of it." Naomi was quiet for a moment. "You're right. I didn't deserve it. But your apology doesn't change anything. I know. I wanted you to know that I see it now. How wrong I was. Trevor and I, we were a disaster together. He spent the whole time comparing me to you. Complaining that I wasn't as patient as you, or as kind as you, or as understanding. He made me realize that he didn't actually want me. He just wanted to escape his life. And when his life fell apart, he blamed everyone but himself. That sounds like Trevor." "I hope you're happy now," Brittany said. "Really? You deserve good things." "I am happy," Naomi said. "And Brittany? I hope you find someone who actually sees you instead of using you as an escape. We both deserved better than Trevor." After hanging up, Naomi felt a strange sense of peace. She didn't forgive Brittany, but she didn't hate her either. Brittany was just another person caught up in Trevor's selfishness. They had both been hurt by him in different ways. But that was over now. Naomi deleted the unknown number from her call history and put her phone away. The past was finally, truly in the past. And the future was hers to create. 9 months after her divorce, Naomi walked into her Saturday morning art class and found a new student setting up an easel next to hers. "Hi," he said with a friendly smile. "I'm Ian. I think we met at the gallery opening last spring?" Naomi remembered him. The man who had bought her painting of the woman rising from the water. "I remember. You teach at the art school, right?" "I do. But I'm taking this class for fun. To learn watercolors. I usually work in oils." They ended up painting side by side, talking easily about techniques and inspiration and the way art could heal parts of yourself you didn't even know were broken. "I saw you featured in the local arts magazine," Ian said. "The article about your blog and your paintings. It was beautiful." "Thank you. That was unexpected but nice. Your story resonated with a lot of people. Including me." "Yeah. Why?" "I went through something similar a few years ago. A relationship where I kept trying to be enough for someone who would never be satisfied. It took me a long time to realize that the problem wasn't me." Naomi nodded, understanding completely. Over the next few weeks, Ian became a regular part of Naomi's Saturdays. They would paint together, then grab coffee after class. Their conversations were easy and honest, with no games or pretense. But Naomi kept her guard up. She wasn't ready for anything romantic. She might never be ready. And she was okay with that. "I like you," Ian said one day as they walked along the river after class. "I want you to know that. But I also want you to know that I'm happy with whatever this is. Friends, painting partners, whatever you're comfortable with." Thank you for saying that. You've been hurt. That's obvious from your blog and from the little bits you've shared with me. I'm not trying to be someone who fixes you or saves you. You've already saved yourself. I'm just someone who enjoys your company and hopes you enjoy mine. Naomi smiled. I do enjoy your company. But you're right, I'm not looking for anything serious. That's okay. Neither am I. But slowly, carefully, something did develop between them. Not a desperate romance or a whirlwind passion. Just a gentle, steady connection between two people who had been broken and put themselves back together. Ian never pushed. He never demanded more than she was willing to give. He respected her space, her boundaries, her need to move slowly. They went to art galleries together. They tried new restaurants. They took long walks and talked about everything and nothing. And Naomi found herself laughing more, opening up more, letting someone see her again. But this was different from what she had with Trevor. With Ian, she didn't feel like she had to shrink. She could be loud or quiet, silly or serious, emotional or calm. He liked all versions of her. You're beautiful when you paint, he told her one day. I'm covered in paint splatter. Exactly. You're in your element. You're fully yourself. That's beautiful. Naomi felt her walls soften just a little more. Meanwhile, her life continued to bloom in other ways. She finished her computer science degree online, graduating with honors. Patricia threw her a celebration at work, and the whole team signed a card congratulating her. Her blog hit 100,000 followers. She got messages from people all over the world telling her how her story had given them courage to leave bad relationships, to choose themselves, to rebuild their lives. She painted more than ever. The community center asked her to teach a regular class. Her work was featured in 3 galleries across the state. She sold paintings faster than she could make them. She traveled to places Trevor had never wanted to go. Beach towns with bright sunshine. Mountain villages with fresh air. Cities with museums and art and culture. She reconnected with old friends she had lost touch with during her marriage. She made new friends who valued her for exactly who she was. And through it all, Ian was there. Not as a savior or a replacement, but as a companion. Someone who walked beside her rather than trying to lead her or follow her. One evening, sitting on her apartment balcony watching the sunset over the river, Naomi realized she was happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Not because of a man or a job or any external thing, but because she had built a life she loved. What are you thinking about? Ian asked, sitting beside her. I'm thinking about how a year and a half ago I thought my life was over. And now I can't imagine going back to who I was then. You've come a long way. We both have. Ian reached over and took her hand. It was a simple gesture, but it felt significant. Naomi let him hold her hand and didn't pull away. I'm not ready for anything serious, she reminded him. I might never be ready. That's okay, Ian said. I'm not going anywhere. Whatever this is, whatever it becomes, I'm good with it. Naomi squeezed his hand. For the first time in years, she felt like she could trust someone again. Not completely, not recklessly, but enough to let them in just a little. And that felt like progress. That felt like healing. That felt like hope. 14 months after disappearing from Trevor's life, Naomi stood in front of a packed auditorium giving a talk about resilience and rebuilding. The local women's center had asked her to speak about her journey. About leaving. About starting over. About finding herself again. I want to tell you about the moment my life changed, Naomi began, her voice steady and clear. I was standing in the hallway of my own home, listening to my husband tell another woman that my presence irritated him. That he wished I would disappear forever. The audience was silent, listening intently. Those words broke something in me. But they also woke something up. Because I realized that I had been disappearing for years. Piece by piece, I had been making myself smaller, quieter. I had been trying to take up less space in my own life. And the man I was doing it for still couldn't stand the sight of me. Naomi took a breath. So I made a choice. I decided to disappear from his life, but not from my own. I took everything that was mine and I left. No note. No explanation. I just went. She told them about the fear and the uncertainty. About the nights she cried herself to sleep. About the days she wanted to give up. But I didn't give up. I got a job using skills I had forgotten I had. I rented an apartment that felt like home. I started painting again. I finished my degree. I built a life that was entirely mine. And here's what I learned, Naomi continued. Nobody can make you disappear unless you let them. Nobody can make you small unless you agree to shrink. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be loud and messy and imperfect. You are allowed to choose yourself. The applause was thunderous. After the talk, women lined up to speak with her, to thank her, to share their own stories, to ask for advice. "How did you know when it was time to leave?" one woman asked. "When staying hurt more than leaving," Naomi answered honestly. "When I realized that I was losing myself trying to keep someone who didn't even want to be kept." "Do you ever regret it?" "Never. Not once. Not even on the hardest days." That evening, Naomi met Ian for dinner at their favorite restaurant by the water. "You were incredible today," he said. "I'm so proud of you. Thank you for coming. I wouldn't have missed it." They ordered food and talked about their weeks. Ian told her about a new project at the art school. Naomi told him about a commission she had gotten for a corporate office. "I have something to tell you," Ian said as they finished dessert. Naomi felt a flutter of nervousness. "What is it?" "I got offered a teaching position at an art school in California. It's an amazing opportunity, but it would mean moving across the country." Naomi's heart sank, but she kept her face neutral. "That's great, Ian. You should take it." "I haven't decided yet." "Why not?" "Because of you." "Don't do that," Naomi said firmly. "Don't put your life on hold for me. I did that once for someone who didn't deserve it. I won't let you do the same." "It's not like that. I'm not giving up my dreams for you. I'm just considering all the factors. And you're one of them." "Ian, we're not even officially together." "I know, but I care about you. And I want to see where this goes." Naomi reached across the table and took his hand. "I care about you too. More than I thought I could care about anyone again. But I won't be the reason you don't chase your dreams. I've learned that lesson. If this is right, it will still be right after you explore that opportunity." "You really mean that?" "I do." Ian smiled. "What if I asked you to come with me?" "Then I would say I can't. My life is here. My job, my friends, my art classes, my mom. I'm finally building something stable and I'm not ready to leave it." "That's fair." "But," Naomi added, "I would also say that I'm willing to try long distance if you want to. I'm willing to visit. I'm willing to see if we can make it work. I'm just not willing to uproot my life again for someone else." "I respect that," Ian said. "And honestly, that's one of the things I love about you. You know your worth. You don't compromise on what matters to you." Over the next few weeks, Ian decided to take the California position. He and Naomi agreed to try long distance. They would video chat regularly. They would visit when they could. They would see what happened. "This might not work," Ian said the day before he left. "I know," Naomi agreed. "But I'm okay with that. I've learned that I can be happy on my own. This works out great. If it doesn't, I'll still be fine." "When did you get so wise?" "When I stopped letting fear make my decisions." After Ian left, Naomi threw herself even more into her work and her art. She taught painting classes. She finished commissions. She wrote blog posts. She spent time with friends. And she realized something important. She was happy. With or without a relationship, with or without Ian, with or without anyone else, she was happy. 1 year exactly after she had overheard Trevor's cruel words, Naomi stood at her apartment window watching the sunrise. She thought about who she had been that day, standing in the hallway listening to her world crumble. That woman had been scared and small and desperate to be enough for someone who would never be satisfied. The woman standing at the window now was confident and strong and complete all on her own. Her phone buzzed. A text from her mom. Ran into Trevor's mother at the store. She asked about you. "I told her you're thriving. Because you are." Naomi smiled and typed back, "I really am." She heard another buzz. This time from Ian, 3 time zones away. "Morning, beautiful. Miss you. Miss you too. But I'm good. I know you are. That's why I love you." Naomi stared at those 3 words. "I love you." She felt something warm and soft in her chest, but also something steady and sure. She typed back, "I think I might love you too. But I love myself more. And that feels like exactly how it should be." Ian sent back a heart emoji and then, "That's the right answer." Naomi put her phone down and looked around her apartment. At the paintings on her walls. At the books on her shelves. At the life she had built entirely on her own terms. Trevor had wished she would disappear forever. And in a way she had disappeared. The small, scared, invisible version of herself was gone for good. The woman who had emerged from those ashes was vibrant and strong and wholly herself. She took up space without apology. She laughed without permission. She chose herself every single day. And that was the happiest ending she could have ever imagined. Not because she found someone new. Not because she got revenge. But because she found herself. And she was never going to lose herself again.